Happy Tuesday. Nope, it is not Tuesday because Tuesday is D&D Day. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to NGS Season 9, week number 3. Joining me in an old friend, Ouija. How's it going, man?
Hey yo, today's a good day. Good day
Indeed.
for NGS season.
So, game 1 in our Division C East matchup featuring Phoenix Rising Diamond. Oh, and let's make sure these teams are on the right side. So Phoenix Rising Diamond and World Hunger Avoidance Team from Division C West. Map number 1 gonna be played on Dragonshire, and I believe this is World Hunger Avoidance Team's choice of map. Ouija, how do you like Dragonshire?
Dragonshire is a good map to test out what your opponents can do because you have both the team fight potential at the bottom and the mid, but you also have how well does the solo lane do and how well your team splits and grabs camps at needed times. So I think it's a great way to test out your opponent if you've never, seen them before or played against them before.
And these two teams have not played before. We'll talk about our two squads here and how they've started off the season. So, World Hunger Avoidance Team, currently in first place in C East. Mostly that's a result, though, of they've played more games than everyone else. They actually have managed to finish 4 matches already, so they're really taking down those flex matches. Um,
Wow, that's a lot
yeah,
in such a
they're
short amount of time.
yeah they're 2-2 in the matches. But their 2 wins are both dominations, and their 2 losses are both 2-1 losses. So picking up points even when you're losing the match is a good place to be. So they have picked up points in all of their games. And World Hunger Avoidance Team, although they have used that moniker before, this team is basically the team formerly known as Winky Face plus Michelin from Blasting Burrows. So a lot of NGS amateur scene veterans on World Hunger Avoidance Team.
It's pretty cool to see teams get back together as much as they can. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, Phoenix Rising Diamond is a new squad. There are a couple of familiar faces on there. Stamip has been around a long time. Was on Reborn Knights, Red, I believe,
Oh,
for
I
a fair
remember them.
while. Yeah, and Shogun Misa was on Necrofin last season. But the other 3 players, to my knowledge, have had little or limited NGS experience, and they are currently looking for their first map win this season. They've taken an 0-2 to Death and Delay and an 0-2 to a veteran Wood League team. So maybe call them the underdog, as they are still looking for their first point of season number 9.
I still think that that's okay because last season, when on the team that I played on, we lost our first 3 or 4 games before we picked up a couple wins. Sometimes it's just you're, getting the cobwebs out.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does take. Sometimes it takes a hot minute for a team to find their footing, especially on a fairly new-ish squad. And sometimes you just get the schedule stacked against you. You get a rough, a tough start to the season, and maybe just by the scheduling gods biting you in the butt, you get some of the tough matchups to start with, and that just means you get to finish strong.
Yeah, as long as you don't get like stuck in your own head type thing, I think that uh I think that people can still handle them themselves.
All right, so we do have some of the other Phoenix Rising representatives in chat. Hello to all. Uh,
Howdy.
Diamond going to have their work cut out for them with an experienced team in what? And first pick, first ban will go to Phoenix Rising Diamond. Currently, the Storm League ban du jour is Zool, but I have seen in NGS Zool's been kind of hit or miss, sometimes getting banned, sometimes not getting drafted at all. But instead, the Warriors, Garrosh and Rexar are going to be banned to start this off.
And then just to reiterate this, if people don't know, the two new reworked heroes, Tracer and Cassia, are both banned for the next 2 weeks because they are strongly reworked. So
Yep, absolutely. So don't have to worry about those until next week, actually, I believe. And then we're going to have a Greymane Lucio ban. So this draft flying along. And let's see who Phoenix Rising Diamond prioritizes with that first pick.
Greymane, I kind of understand. Greymane's a pretty standard pick for most team comps, whether you're burst or poke. But the Lucio, you don't see a lot of Lucio, and so I wonder if that is a target ban. But we still have Tassadar, the newest reworked hero, picked up by Phoenix Rising, and blasting in from World Hunger Avoidance team, we have Zeratul and Johanna.
Yeah, the Greymane is kind of one of those heroes that is really generalist. It doesn't project a lot of what you're doing. He's just kind of good always. Yeah, but the Lucio is a little weird to ban so highly in the draft, and at this point in the season, there is information on these teams, so it could very easily be a targeted ban. Now on the flip side, we have ETC and Malfurion. So Phoenix Rising Diamond opening up with kind of their core of their draft. They have their assassin, they have their tank, and they have their support.
And yet the World Hunger Avoidance team bans another assassin, Kael'thas. They don't want Kael'thas Tassadar in the small choke areas that the shrines on the top and the bottom have. So, taking that away.
Now Kael'thas is pretty aggravating. You know, the living bombs, even if you move so you don't pass them to your teammates, you know, by focusing on that positioning, it's kind of one more thing to think about. And banning out the Abathur, I like that. A Zeratul with an Abahat can be a real bully. And
It's a real pain rotating around the map with the Zeratul Abahat combo, just ganking people left and right.
Yeah, absolutely. And the mines to disrupt the rotations can be aggravating on Dragonshire. And every time I feel like there's an Abba on Dragonshire, it feels like once per game that annoying Abba is going to burrow in and take a point at the last minute or something too. So even that global can't be discounted. And Jaina Stukov, so kind of a little bit of an old school VP Ring of Frost, a lurking arm combo setting up there for World Hunger Avoidance team.
And the Johanna running in there too, with the bringing them all together with a giant condemn hit, and then you can blast all your abilities because you're all, AoE damage. But the Artanis and Lunara being picked up by Phoenix Rising Diamond, looking for a little bit more auto attack centric team, but with the Tassadar to follow up with it.
Yeah, I've even seen, although I wouldn't expect it here, I have seen teams run actually a falling sword on top of a VP. I assume that World Hunger Avoidance team will go a little standard, as Arthas picked up to round out the composition, and that's a great pick because that Artanis is going to have to match up into Arthas, which is a matchup Artanis really struggles into, unless Phoenix Rising decides to rotate one of their ranged carries up to take the solo lane away. But those ranged damage dealers aren't going to be able to get Arthas off the point, so some tough decisions for Phoenix Rising.
I think it'd be okay if you put the Tassadar in the top lane, but then the amazing level 1 talent where you stack the Q, you're not stacking it no more, or not
Yeah.
nearly as fast.
Yeah, I really like that Arthas pick. It really kind of puts, before the game has even started, it makes Diamond have to decide what they're going to do in that top lane. And regardless, they're likely to either A, just lose the matchup flat out, or B, not able to take the point. And you always have to be wary of the roaming Zeratul as well. So I think World Hunger Avoidance team likely won that draft. The only thing that I don't like about it is it's very, very cooldown based with Jaina and VP. Assuming that's what he goes. Who do you like, Ouija?
You are very right. The cooldowns that are based on World Hunger Avoidance team, they're much, much longer. But you know, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna give it to Phoenix Diamond Rising because with the wall that they have from Tassadar, you can block in a couple people. ETC slides in there. He's right in the middle of all of them. I just think that the amount of tools that Phoenix Rising Diamond have at their disposal far outweigh the tools that World Hunger Avoidance team. However, I do have to say I agree with you that Artanis is gonna have a problem into Arthas slash Stukov. Um, so it's gonna be a little strange. Also, Johanna Blands, we forgot about that too.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind. Well, it says Ouija left. Have you left us, Ouija, or are you still here?
I can still see.
Weird. All right. Well, then I'm not going to worry about it. Let's introduce our teams. The blue team, Phoenix Rising Diamond, hoping to pull off a little mini upset here, pick up their first points of the season. We have Stamif on ETC, Geosiris, I'm going to call him Geo, on Lunara, Fox Spam on Artanis, Shogun Misa on Tassadar, and Baybean on Malfurion.
And in the red shorts, we have World Hunger Avoidance Team What? And we got Mikulin on Zeratul, VZ on Stukov, Bajino on Arthas. We got Genzor on Johanna, and we got Brick House on Jaina.
So what I started to say, one of the things with the Malfurion, if he goes Twilight Dream, a well-timed Twilight Dream can absolutely punish an overextended Zeratul. So something to watch for there. Swap does not go down. Arthas already rotating into the top lane, and now our teams will be breaking up and heading into the laning phase. And it is going to be poor Artanis who's going to have to struggle into an Arthas here as Artanis. He will absolutely need help, or they will never get this top lane away.
I am pretty surprised they didn't send a ranged carry, but I guess they really wanted the clear to be very heavy on the rotations. Like, I mean, every team wants that, but if you're going to lose the solo lane, then you're going to have problems in general. So
Stamik was doing a real nice job anchoring the Bermuda Triangle there. Actually hit a triple stun. Isolated out Joe for some good damage on her. And we haven't talked about, but Phoenix Rising Diamond with Lunara and Tassadar, that is a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage. It will come out periodically, but the with the level 1 quest on Tassadar already at 30 extra damage, it's gonna start chunking. It's gonna start chunking.
And as we watch this mashup up here with that attack speed slow on Artanis, he just can't stay there. And he's just going to get loose. You can see he's just getting worn down already, and he has to leave, and he can't because of the slows. You can see if he stands in with Arthas, he just loses.
It's going to be an interesting play to see what he picks for talents. He already did take the basic attack talent. Every time he hits a basic attack, it upgrades his attack damage by 0.1. But against Arthas, he's not going to get a lot of basic attacks in there.
No, and if he does, he's putting himself in a rough spot. Just like Lunara is right here in a rough spot. Mikulin gets first blood, taking down Lunara as the Zeratul there.
And in the bottom lane, we have a big fight. Wow, the Jaina getting away with the skin of her teeth as she was being body blocked by ETC during that fight. They're just going to do a little bit of kerfuffle in the bottom lane, but Mikulin comes in, and it's a 3v4 right now.
Yeah, with Diamond just having such a bad matchup in the top lane, it really puts a lot of pressure on the 4-man. I mean, there's that bad matchup. He just can't stand in there. It's so rough. It puts so much pressure on Diamond to hold this bottom point. Like, the 4-man has to win in the bottom.
Man, the Stukov getting very low there, deciding to go back. Probably has already tapped. And they're just going to, blue team, Phoenix Rising Diamond, just going to continue to rotate, get their camp out as fast as they humanly can. They didn't take it earlier, so I guess this is as good as a time than any to grab it. But both things are channeled for red team. And Mikulin, I thought, would grab it, but he had all the time in the world to grab it, but now ETC's there to zone him off.
Yeah, I think he just figured they would come up, and they never did. I brought up the XP stats here, because the pressure on Diamond to hold that bottom lane means they have missed 2 waves mid, and you can see it in the minion soak, and that's part of where this level advantage is coming from. So that late pick Arthas is really paying dividends here for World Hunger Avoidance team.
Yeah, and he's about to get a lot stronger too because he did just pick up the Rune Tap and Icy Talons, which means while he has that slow on Artanis, he is going to get a faster attack speed, and every 3 attacks, he's going to get 3% of his health back.
Yeah, he's basically taking the Artanis you can't do anything with game.
Poor Artanis, but we do have the Dragon Knight picked up by World Hunger Avoidance team with Zeratul in the Dragon Knight. He's going to push down the front wall in the mid lane.
Yeah, while Diamond was trying to secure that bottom point, Michael and on Zeratul just kind of went up, took the knight. Now Arthas is like considering invading Artanis, who's showing on the camp, forcing ETC up to drive him away. But it just feels like Diamond is kind of on the back foot.
Yeah, with the fact that the ETC had to come up to defend Artanis at the camp meant that he couldn't really engage into the dragon at all or even zone anybody off. But look at the dragon staying in the mid lane while the bottom lane gets taken by the 3-man.
Yeah, Phoenix Phoenix. I'm gonna keep messing it up. I'm just gonna say Diamond.
Yeah, we'll just say Diamond.
Just Diamond. I don't really know what adjustment they can make as Zeratul tries to go in. I think Stamek did hold his power slide. I don't think Michael gets out of here.
Ooh,
just far enough! Oh, the silence! And finally, the Lunara dot damage is able to finish him off, and that is first kill of the game for Diamond, but not before what gets their level 10s, and they have Void Prison, Massive Shell, Army of the Dead, I'm pretty sure that's what the icon it is, Blessed Shield, and Ring of Frost to pair up with that Void Prison as Jaina gets caught out. The Stand-Up and Baybeam have been just a touch off with their Power Slide Lawn CC chain, but Shogun Misa was there to put the wall down, but if those two get a little more on the same page with their CC, I think you'll see the threat level really ramped up from Diamond.
Yeah, and the level 10 power spike is about to lose its luster as the Team Diamond, get their power spike at level 10, opting to pick for Purifier Beam, Black Hole, Twilight Dream, and Stage Dive. We do not have the Rockin' Power Stun and Leaping Strike. Oh, we have a fight at the camp.
Oh, I love what ETC there. Completely zoned away Jaina, so she couldn't get the Ring of Frost away clean. She does still get it, but it's a little late. There's the root on top of it. ETC is not going to survive that. The Tassadar ult and ETC zoning away Jaina almost negated the Void, but it's a long 4 seconds, and Jaina, despite ETC's best efforts, was able to bully her way in and land a pretty good ring.
Looks like my internet died for a second, but I'm back.
Harness the power of sun and moon.
Sort of. It also seems like the Stukov zoning with the Lurking Arm is really, really good.
Now this is interesting. The beam on Arthas really makes him not just stand there. We do have a pause. Was that pause for you?
I don't know if that pause was for me, but I definitely lagged out.
Are you back?
I'm back. Everything's fine. Oop, I'm messaging that to you, Amata. Oh, you and I can only talk. Uh-oh.
Yep. Don't worry, Michaelin's got it.
But what you were saying though is that beam really took a chunk out of
Arthas.
The damage that Arthas Arthas has. Oh, but he still gets the kill.
Hero slain.
They do get Johanna in the bottom, though. So kind of a 1-for-1, although ETC unable to get away from the Zeratul. I think Michaelin's going to force out a Zeraban game, too, here, the way this is going.
Yeah, he seems to be having a lot of fun on that hero. Zeratul blinking in, hitting the Q, blinking out. Oh, is he going to get it? I think he has enough
Oh,
time.
yeah. No, there's no contest there. Second DK of the game for what?
And it looks like this DK is just gonna, do the same thing, hang out mid for a little bit. Looks like taking a lot of damage for not much progress, but making his way to the bottom lane. He's gonna push in the tower so that he gets a lot more map pressure on the bottom where you have the shrine.
I think what is going to get both mid and bottom for this, and I love what Michaelin's doing there. He knows his team is mid, and so the DK has a long timer on it. He just backed up and left, and now he's going to punt Lunara. Tried to punt her into his own team. That was a real clever effort there.
That was really close. If she was punted just like a couple inches to the left or to the right, she would have been in a very bad spot. Ooh.
There's a stage diving ETC. He stage dives top. They're trying to get the pick on Arthas, who pops Army of the Dead to try to get away. He is being held in, but they just don't have the CC to hold him there. And that means no tank, no front line for the bottom lane. I really expect World Hunger Avoidance team to really step in hard with this the minions coming in.
Yeah, and the double ult used for trying to secure the one kill in the top lane, I don't think that was a very good trade, but if it had worked, it would have really, really helped with the XP gain and the bringing back of the XP.
Now, World Hunger Avoidance team does have pretty much all of their heroics, and Michaelin is kind of keeping eyes on this Bruiser camp. He might just blink in here. Team is down here. They're going to try to push in for this fort. I really thought they would step in, but Genzer sees ETC coming. The rest of the team backs up to safety.
And I hate what Michaelin just did, where you snipe the well from behind the towers. I hate when that happens, but it's such a good tactic, and it really brings a lot to the lane that you are doing that to, because now they have no sustain other than to go back if they need to.
So Artanis actually stepped off this camp, leaving one minion there to make sure he wasn't bullied off, waited for what to leave before resuming the camp there.
And it looks like that the 3 men in the bottom lane, they don't exactly know where the team is coming in, but the blue team coming in, the slide missing ever so slightly on that Jaina. It looks like there's going to be a 4v4 fight in the bottom right now.
Now the VP only caught one, so that's a big break. Tassadar is cleansed out, and there's a big stage dive. It does catch two, but Malfurion is deleted nonetheless. Now that stage dive Space Beam is a real nice combo due to the slow going out. Lunara escapes with 22 health.
Hero slain.
But Artanis goes down mid. That's just such a bad matchup for him.
I'm surprised that that Team Diamond have not switched out their solo laner. But at the same time, if you switch out a Squishy, then it's very susceptible to Zeratul.
Absolutely,
So.
yeah. That Arthas pick was a really clever pick. And look at this. What is already on it? There's going to be no time for response here from anybody. They had everybody set up and in position to grab the DK and the bottom Mercs. Basically on cooldown. So 16 advantage. Mercs coming in the bottom. DK coming in the bottom. And Diamond is in a real rough spot.
Yeah, and with the DK and the spell armor that's going to push, there's not going to be much that Blue Team's going to be able to do, especially down a talent tier right now, 17-15. The wormhole comes out, but it doesn't get very much value, and the spell armor just continues to walk up forward, as well as the Dragon Knight.
So here we go. World Hunger Avoidance team stepping into the bottom key with the Mercs. Down goes the giant laser beam from above, forcing Arthas to dance around in little circles until it expires, in which it will be shortly. The wall does isolate out on Arthas, but Artanis gets punted by the DK and falls down. World Hunger Avoidance team is going to get this keep. Lunara is pushing in the top lane. I wonder if what is contemplating to the end here. I don't think so.
I don't think so. With the core changes and the amount of damage that the core does, but here comes the VP with the Ring of Frost. Tastadar just disintegrates, as well as Malfurion. Now I think that they have a chance of winning, especially that their entire team's up 40 seconds, 35 seconds on 2 people coming back. ETC gets a stun off, but the shut comes out. That was weird. And Mickelin gets out, but is he going to die from dot damage? He does die, but I think that this game is very close to being over.
Yeah, shield's going down quickly. Diamond in desperate defense mode, and they are fighting back valiantly. Stukov's likely to go down. Jaina goes down as well. Core, 26%, 22%. Artanis and ETC doing everything they can, but it's not going to be much. 9%. Space Beam on the Arthas, and game number 1 in fairly commanding fashion. Over to World Hunger Avoidance Team.
And did you say before the game started that they had been down? They haven't won a game so far in the season?
No, that's Diamond.
Oh,
Diamond is
Diamond. Okay,
currently
gotcha.
0-2 in their they've played 2 matches, and they lost 0-2 in both matches to Death and Delay and Wood League.
Gotcha.
World Hunger Avoidance Team has played 4 matches, and they have won 2, and they have lost 2. But the 2 that they won were 2-0 dominations, and the 2 that they lost were 1-2 losses, so they still picked up a point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So some moments there for Phoenix, Rising, Diamond, but they felt like they were just really, that matchup it felt like a little too much to overcome. Didn't seem to have the answers. Fox Spam on Artanis had a rough game just because he was really forced into kind of a no-win situation. Either he has to play super passive and let Arthas do what he wants, or he has to try to make some plays and do so at a disadvantage with the Zera floating up there as well. That was just as rough.
Yeah, I wonder if they will. Well, like we talked about, they're probably going to ban the Zeratul, but I would have liked to see, like, you can't really pick Artanis early because you can get countered that heavily when you do that.
Yeah, I
if
think.
you have no backup plan.
Yeah, agree. I think it's, unless it's like Battlefield of Eternity where the solo lane's kind of irrelevant, really. I really think it's hard to pick Artanis until you know who you're going to be facing off with in the other lane. So these two teams moving along very quickly. Game number 2, Ouija. Infernal Shrines.
Ooh, okay.
And
very team fight oriented map around the shrine when it actives. Hopefully we see a large amount of team fights. We didn't see too many in this map. It was a lot of ganks from the Zeratul and a lot of like passive engages, but no super active aggresso,
Yeah, there was a lot of skirmishing. A lot of skirmishing, but you really didn't have the full 5-on-5 brouhahas until the end when they were fighting over the keeps in the core.
But even then, like, Lunara wasn't there for almost half of that. I don't even know if Lunara being there at the beginning would have changed the course of that fight, but yeah, you never know. I mean, they were low, so maybe it would have.
We're doing a little who's on first in lobby chat here with what's on right. Oh, you can join off me, Anson.
You got it, boss.
You should have been laughing at that, but you weren't here to see it.
Oh, when I lagged out?
No, and in chat, I said, okay, can we get diamond on the left and what on the right? And he said, no, what goes on the right? And I said, yeah, that's what I said, what on the right. We did who's on first, but with what on the
Oh
right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
see, but it's,
gotcha. The comedy skit routine.
yeah, but it's.
Yeah.
All right, so first pick going over to Phoenix Rising Diamond. So that means they opted to take first pick in game 2. Map choice went to World Hunger Avoidance T.
Map's really good for any kind of global though. So we could see the global game in this one. Zeratul kind of a global presence, but not fully global. They did ban the Abathur in a previous game, so I wonder if they'll keep the Abathur ban. He is pretty good on this map.
Possibly. Zool also gets a little better on this map too. I think you have to consider that as well. Um, that first game though, I really felt like it was World Hunger Avoidance Team. They got picks and they just manipulated the map so much better, really leveraged that off lane advantage. So I'm curious if Diamond can step up in a map that just has a different feel. It's going to force the more full 5-on-5 fighties over the objective. If maybe they can show a little bit better when they're not having the map manipulated against them so hard. But moving along, these teams flying along with the draft. If I were a good caster, I would be showing the fine folks what the draft looks like. So let's do that. Garrosh, Greymane banned out for Diamond. Lucio, ETC banned out for what? Lucio has to be a targeted ban. And Stamek going to open up with that first pick, Johanna, on Infernal Shrines. One of the few tanks that I can actually give you some decent Shrine Monkey clear.
Now, there is something that wasn't banned that we thought was going to be.
Yeah.
Do we see the Zeratul picked up right here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
Zeratul's coming back.
I'm really surprised at that, honestly. I don't know if they think they're going to have a better answer. So we'll see. Maybe, I mean, like, you can ban out the Jaina, but there's so many things you can combo with Zeratul. You do VP APOC, you can do VP Twilight Dream.
I mean, here you have VP with the, not Quake, but the other one.
Interesting.
Thundering. And they brought the Lily in.
So Lily is slippery, and if Lily plays farther enough back, you can actually try to cups your way through the combo. I wonder if that's what's on their mind as Chen banned out from World Hunger Avoidance Team. They only want to see one panda on the field at a time, apparently.
They didn't want the panda posse coming at them. Now, though, Thrall now has an even more reason to pick Sundering to stun Lily out of cups.
That is true. That can be a little tricky with Sundering, though, if it's a long-range shot.
Do you think we see the same team members other than Stukov here?
Well, no, because you already don't have the Arthas.
Oh, so and the Johanna has been picked.
And the Johanna. So I do think you're going to see the Jaina again, because those two were really on point with the VP Ring of Frost. But no Stukov lurking arm to throw underneath the bottom. But you could have... Nope.
Oh, are we getting Bloodlust?
Are we getting Bloodlust is the question.
I stand ready.
We have a Vala. Lots of really, really squishy heroes for Diamond. Like, really squishy. Vala, the new Tassadar is very squishy. Lily is squishy, but wily at the same time.
Yeah, Lily...
They're going to need another heavy frontline unit right here.
Lily has blinds and can heal herself and is slippery. So Lily, to me, not as vulnerable to the Zeratul. Vala is, though. Now, the flip side of that is if you have a taunt variant or a C-Smash, Zeratul has to respect that. So I think the variant might help keep Zeratul at bay a little bit here.
Do you expect taunt?
I think taunt is always good. I don't think there's a situation that taunt is ever bad.
No, I think taunt is the way to go here. Sure. I don't know if C-Smash will get you enough time with Zeratul.
Yeah, that's the point, right? You are onto him, and then he blinks away, and it doesn't matter. So I agree, taunt is the way to go. But C-Smash does have a little bit of a threat value as well. Zeratul can't blink in there at half health or anything silly if C-Smash is up, right? But an interesting comp coming here out of World Hunger Avoidance Team. This is kind of a throwback a little bit. Bloodlust Earthquake? Question mark?
Let's see. Who would stun out Cups? That would be Blaze.
Or
And
Judgment.
if I was gonna say
Point and click
if Trio
Judgment.
picks Judgment. Oh hey, the level 20 cooldown on it is like 30-second judgments from across the map. So I mean, it could happen. Could happen.
This is going to be a really interesting game. World Hunger Avoidance Team went all melee, and they don't have a hero over there that you typically consider like a volume damage dealer. Like Zeratul can put out some good damage, Thrall can put out some good damage, but there's nobody over there who's just going to put out an overwhelming volume of damage. The flip side of that, though, with the shields and the Sanct, assuming Thrall goes Earthquake, the kind of counter to Bloodlust is they pop Bloodlust and you just leave, right? You just walk away. But
Right.
if they pop Earthquake,
And then Bloodlust.
right, you can't just walk away, right? Even
Mhm.
Holy Ground at 13, Tyrael can like sort of do the same thing, kind of block them in. And if
Yeah,
they're able to do that, that's going to be rough for Diamond.
I mean, Blaze even has combustion, which will slow once it
Sure.
pops. I just, with the amount of squishy people on Diamond, Team Phoenix Rising Diamond, it's just, I'm scared for the Vala.
That's the one I'm in particular scared for too. But you know what? I think we still have in the back of our minds that Tassadar has his little E, and he doesn't. Tassadar is actually a really vulnerable hero now. So
Yeah, he did pick that ability last game.
he did, but he doesn't have it to start. Worth
but yeah.
noting, Varian went High King's Quest at 1, which is not usually what you see at a taunt Varian.
Oh no.
All right, Phoenix Rising.
We're gonna
I
get
know.
wind blades.
We getting crazy up in here. All right, Stamip on the Johanna, Baybean on Lily, Fox Spam on Vala, Geo on Varian, and Shogun Misa on Tassadar. Phoenix Rising Diamond.
And again, in the red shorts, fighting for the win. We have World Hunger Avoidance Team with Mikulin on Zeratul again. We got VZ on Rhaegar. We got Sojo, Gino on Blaze. We got Tenzor on Tyrael. And we got Brick House on Thrall.
So slight early rotational lead, very slight from World Hunger Avoidance Team, but I think with a Joe and a Tassadar, Phoenix Rising Diamond is going to catch up very quickly in these rotations.
I am really surprised about who Phoenix Rising Diamond decided to put in the top lane. With High King's Quest being picked, you need to rotate for the globes to get the full value of High King's Quest, and you need to be able to attack heroes, at least auto attack in some way.
Sure,
And
yeah, I mean, maybe you send Tassadar up there instead, I guess.
Again, like, it's strange that they don't have like dedicated solo. It's kind of like this is off solo, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's oh no! I missed that I'm a terrible caster, but Phoenix Rising Diamond invades the camp, takes it over, and sends Thrall packing for his troubles. That's actually a really savvy play. When they saw Zeratul in the top lane, they're like, let's get aggro, boys and girls. So real nice call there by Diamond.
This is what I like to see, use of the mini-map. A lot of players in Storm League don't use their mini-map. It's just like it doesn't exist. And so good use of the mini-map, a good use of control, and they pick up the kill.
Yeah, when you've got a Zera on the other team, communication is so important. If Zeratul rotates to the top lane, you call it out. He gets nothing, and you counter-rotate as the aggressive play going out again, cutting off Thrall and Tyrael, but some miss soak mid. Diamond needs to go pick that up. But if Zeratul gets nothing out of his rotation and you counter map pressure properly, you know, that's how you want to do it if you're Diamond. You're really getting value out of the communication and map presence. And Shogun Misa kind of putting it on Zera there just a little bit.
It was a pretty good wall, but the blink, you just blink right out of there when you get hit by a wall. But at some point, I think that he's gonna have his blink on cooldown, and that wall is gonna come into real handy. But Mikulin hitting in the bush, and then decides to walk away when he sees 4 people rotating up to him.
Yeah, just cleave and leave, cleave and leave. Now,
Now
members
the
of...
level lead. Oh, go
I would
ahead.
say members of what? Still hanging out in bottom. They're going to try to just push with this, putting shields on the minions, Rhaegar and Thrall. Rhaegar actually does pretty decent siege damage, and they're going to get some value out of this. On the flip side, Diamond has not responded to the objective at all. They did take top Mercs, so let's see how these teams play it. As World Hunger Avoidance team, it looks like they're going to play for 10, Ouija.
It seemed like that World Hunger Avoidance team knew that they weren't gonna hit 7 before Team Diamond. So it looks like they were trying to get some pressure elsewhere. That didn't mean that they had to fight without 7s. But it looks like they're not even deciding to go for the objective. I know the objective in this map is kind of weak early game. So my guess is that World Hunger Avoidance team is going to be able to head back and defend and not get as much lost as they just took. So
yeah, and with Zeratul staying in these other lanes soaking, World Hunger Avoidance team, not only did they get a fort, but they actually caught up and passed the XP lead that Diamond had built up. And nobody from Diamond soaking an off lane. I really don't want all 5 here, Ouija. I want to see somebody go in the off lane and pick up some of that soak elsewhere on the map, just like Zeratul's doing.
I think the problem with that is that they lose their scary factor if they do that. But I mean, they need to capitalize on this right now. The taunt comes out, and Blaze finally get taken down after the taunt. But the taunt's going to be back up in a second.
And meanwhile, bottom lane, Johanna's actually moving into the off lane. It looks like they're flexing Varian to the main tank spot at least, while Zeratul is pushing these huge minion waves crashing into the structures.
Now, it looks like I was wrong, though. The keep did get taken by the Punisher, which I didn't think was going to happen, but with the kill secured... Oh, and the taunt comes out on Mikkelin, and he just spooks away.
Yeah, that was actually a really good response by Diamond. They didn't panic. They ended up still slightly ahead, traded out forts, actually got an aggressive camp invade. Now Blaze is showing top. They want to take this again. A very aggressive play by Diamond, having that good map awareness. Stamach is anchoring that bush there. Both teams on the point. Blaze is on the way. We're going to have a 5-on-5 though here. Everybody pressing their buttons. The camp is secured by World Hunger Avoidance team. Mikkelin on Zeratul gets taunted, barely able to blink away, but Tyrael actually goes down, and he's going to get big value out of the trait, and he does. Down goes Vala. Cup's picked up just in time, and it was used, but not enough to save Varian and Lili. Down goes Tassadar, so a 2-for-4 trade in favor of World Hunger Avoidance team. Meanwhile, top lane.
Meanwhile, top lane. It's funny because I really thought that fight was going to go in the way of Diamond Rising, or Rising Diamond, Phoenix Rising Diamond, or just Diamond, like we're calling them. But the Zeratul, when Zeratul left, I guess Zeratul decided to come back and really shredded that back line incredibly quickly with that Q.
Well, not just that, is they had, they being Diamond, had Genzers. Actually, let's come back to this as the two sides fighting again. Blaze not here. There's Earthquake. There's Bloodlust. There's Blessed Shield. There's Cups. There's Sanct. And down goes Varian. Down goes Vala. And that's going to be rough for Diamond if they cannot win a 5v4. Ooh, boy. But in that choke there with Sanct, Earthquake, yowza.
It did look like that the Varian player DC'd in the middle of that, because that's what it said at the bottom of my screen. But all the R's were popped. Every R was popped. Oh, what? Mikkelin comes in for the kill on Tassadar and pays with his life, but he showed him who's boss.
And the pressure from World Hunger Avoidance team has been legit and real this whole game. Diamond has been very aggressive, but the last two team fights, once 10 came online, they just haven't been able to quite finish the jobs. We haven't had a chance to go over it yet, so let's do that now. Level 10s from Phoenix Rising Diamond is actually Taunt variant, his heroic with 4. Rain of Vengeance from Vala. I don't know. Black Hole, the new Tassadar. I don't know the new ones there. Jug of 1,000 Cups for Lily. Blessed Shield for Joe. Oh, Vala. Run, Vala, run. And World Hunger Avoidance team, we have, oh, no Void Prism. It's actually Might of the Nerazim, Bloodlust, Combustion, Sanct, and Earthquake. So all of the press R and win in the middle of a fight button.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't feel like they needed the setup at all, but wanted the more damage, so they got the Nerazim instead. But the World Hunger Avoidance team takes the Bruiser camp on the top lane, and this starts working on the monkeys.
Yeah, and they're going to work on them fast. I think Diamond is trying to get 13 here and then step in, and they're going to get it now. But Zera all over, forcing out the Blessed Shield, and then Zeratul simply blinks away. Now Black Holder goes out, only catches Tyrael. Zeratul kind of waiting in the wings, doesn't make a move on anybody quite yet. And now back to the objective.
And it looks like that the monkeys getting 10. Oh, wow. All of the R's are popped again. Lily's hitting the cups, saving a couple people, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. It's going to look like Vala's going to slowly go down. But the punish gets completed. But, wow, it's a 3 for 0 trade. Might be a 4. It is a 4 for 0 trade. Almost a full team wipe. All the monkeys are theirs. And here comes the Punisher.
Yeah, I think Diamond needs to realize that if they get into a full engage and everything is pressed, they're going to lose, right? The Earthquake is so key because it holds Diamond there, so they need to find a way to, and I don't know what the answer here is, but to try to bait that out or get a pick before they can get the full combo up. But there's so many pieces to what is doing. I don't know who the key component would be in that pick.
I mean, it's just like what we talked about before, where I mean, you keep them there so that you can wail on them with the Bloodlust. Without the Thrall engage, then they don't have it, but the range on that ult is so wide. How do you know when, like, how do you capitalize on that? Because if you charge into him, he'll hit it, right? So.
Red team has summoned an arcane
Earthquake's scary.
So 6 teams online for World Hunger Avoidance team. They have Mercenaries pushing down all 3 lanes. The Punisher, John Cena, sauntering down the mid lane. And Phoenix Rising Diamond, after a really strong start to this game, kind of looking for answers.
Yeah, and they're trying to find that answer with Varian in the top lane, trying to get just a little bit more soak so they can hit 16 before this Punisher gets a lot of damage in, but I don't think it's going to make it. But that Punisher's going down pretty quick. The red team has taken the side wall just in case if they want to pursue, but they decide to back off. Oh, maybe not. They're sharking around the middle. Here comes the ults. They're all busting out. Here comes the Earthquake. Tassadar gets obliterated, and the red team is coming in.
Now all the ults are down. Stamik stepping in with the Blessed Shield as he should. Huge Rain of Vengeance. Great counter engage. Gets his Tyrael, but Johanna goes down. I liked what Diamond tried to do there, and they're showing some signs of life. But the combo from World Hunger Avoidance team is brutal. I think what I would have liked to have seen is Thrall kind of pop the Earthquake early. I think if Diamond would have just backed up as soon as Earthquake went down, they might have been able to avoid that. Zeratul harassing poor Lily, but really flirting with it as that arrow was bouncing around for onto the Zeratul there.
I think that Phoenix Rising Diamond is going to have a little bit more help with the Banner of the Ironforged, getting that 20% extra damage reduction, 20% damage reduction on those engages is going to really help them sustain fights longer.
Sure.
But in terms of talents, like Vala went auto attack build. I'm not sure, like hasn't finished the level 4 quest yet. We're just gonna need. We have a lot of disengage, but not a lot of engage currently on their team.
Yeah, and I think 20 could actually help Diamond too. Normally, this is not a talent I take on Johanna, but Johanna has a really good Storm Shield at 20, and that could really help them. Varian cut out a little, forced to use his shield wall, still running for safety. Michael in hot pursuit. And there goes Vala trying to drive him off with some damage, and she does, but pays for it. Cups is out too late. Black Hole catches 2. Johanna kind of out here on an island, forced to pop the Iron Skin, and the brawl continues, but Vala is down, and there goes Earthquake. Taunt, Sanked, World Hunger Avoidance team pressing all their R's again, and they're going to get more kills for it again. Varian is going to go down. Michael and very low, hanging out safely in the back line here. They are caught under keep here, so maybe they get a counter kill. Joe is being so aggressive, stunned again, and goes down to Zeratul.
Man, with all the health bars so low, they can't quite capitalize on it. Phoenix Rising Diamond gets blown up 3-0 again. You know, at the very beginning of that fight, the Joe missed her Blessed Shield. That would have been a huge, huge help in that team fight. But with the missed ult, you can't really... I don't know why she decided to engage again into it, but maybe she thought she could grab something that she, didn't.
Now on the flip side here, Diamond may have overstepped a little bit.
This looks bad.
What is on the way?
Okay, Micklin misses his ability.
W, yeah.
Yeah.
So 20s if you're Diamond. I want to see the Storm Shield from Johanna, I think. She has a really great 20 Storm Shield talent. And then the Cups upgrade, because if they can just get through the heroics, they might be able to get something going, and Michelin is just showing off now.
Michelin just tearing apart his Protoss brethren.
I'm really
showing him real who's boss.
Oh no, I'm really surprised they didn't ban Zera in game 2 here.
If there's a game 3, it will get banned. There's no doubt in my mind that Michelin is not allowed to play this hero anymore. And if anybody's watching this that is about to fight World Hunger Avoidance team, please ban it. Don't let them play it.
And there goes the Earthquake, there goes the Bloodlust, and once again, Diamond learned a little bit this time. They tried to retreat, but still they cannot get away, and there's the combustion. Down goes Vala. Tassadar is going to be able to rejoin his team shortly, and boy, do they need him. Varian shield walling, running to safety, but it's not going to be safety. Sank going on the core. Core going down. Lily running for her life. And last stand time for Phoenix Rising Diamond. Rhaegar goes down. Core is melting. Ouija, it's going to be close. No.
I think this is over. Yeah. As soon as the shields on the core went down, it's very, very hard to get a couple of those heroes off of the core. Well done to World Hunger Avoidance team. What? And good game to Phoenix Rising Diamond.
Yeah, that was a comp I don't think I've seen before. That second game, that kind of, I mean, the Earthquake Bloodlust, it was a thing for a while. So I've definitely seen that before, yeah. But I don't think I've seen it with kind of the Tyrael Blaze Thrall, kind of everybody pile in. And what makes it interesting, right, is that it forces them to stay into a point in the Sanct, but they have Combustion and Earthquake to hold them there. Plus all the oil, it gets lost in these fights, but underneath Diamond and all of those fights were those oil puddles from Blaze that were going to be holding them in these tight spaces too.
Mm-hmm.
Yowza.
Yeah, and even with the 20 talent tier above, I mean, you just really can't. You can't leave. You can't do anything. JoJo's probably the only one who could do anything with her, her Iron Skin. But once that's down, you really don't have any way of staying there.
Yeah, and Cups I think is actually an underappreciated heroic. You don't see teams just burned through the Cups healing. Usually they have to kind of wait it out. But the comp that World Hunger Avoidance being put together, they were actually out damaging the Cups. When Cups was going full bore, the health bars were still going down. So a very interesting comp there. And World Hunger Avoidance team picks up their 3rd win of the season, holding tight in 5th place. If my caster math is correct, that's going to be 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 points picked up in 5 matches.
And they're definitely showing in full force. They took games very. They didn't play it super clean, not like unbelievably clean, but clean enough that it was very one-sided. It felt like for half the games.
Well, let's see if we can. Why don't we jump into? We'll do a quick interview into NGS Lobby 2. Can you get over there, Anson?
I'll get there.
All right.
Good evening.
Why, hello. How are you, friend?
Doing good. Doing good.
So Anson should be here momentarily, aka Ouija, and Brickhouse from World Hunger Avoidance Team joining us. So first things first. I know you guys call yourself World Hunger Avoidance Team, but to me you look a lot like Winky Face. How'd that come about?
That's just the end of the movie where it says all resemblances to people, real or fictional, is purely
Oh,
coincidental and
sure.
shouldn't be taken. Yeah, that.
Sure,
That.
yeah. All right, fair
Just a,
enough.
just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Michael Ian, or sorry, Michelin is the captain. I have trouble saying his name. It's late. I'm tired. I haven't had coffee enough yet today. And so he's the captain. He does a good job, and it's his team. So it's cool. I just do the short straw and get to talk to everybody.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about game 2. You guys kind of broke out this unorthodox composition that had a lot of tools to kind of hold the other team in close, where you pop this Bloodlust Sanct Zeratul thing. How'd that come about, and what's the kind of thought process behind that?
Thought process. Yeah. That was something we thought it was a good opportunity to run it, and we did. We were kind of yelling at each other on the loading screen. Some positive, some negative, like what the hell are we doing? Come on, come on. And then we kind of went through it. All right, we could make this work. So let's try it. It required a lot of coordination to get the timing down. And it was I think we're very fortunate that it complemented a lot of the styles that we play,
Sure.
and made it really work out nicely. I think that probably the biggest unknown for that with us was Spo on Blaze. I mean, he's kind of an unknown in that kind of style, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah. And so you guys, if that's Michael and doing your scheduling, got to be a moderator favorite, knocking down those flex matches. You guys have done 5 matches in 3 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Animals.
Pretty it's mentally exhausting because the competition is fierce. It really is. It's you get up for air. It's like swimming. You go stroke, stroke, stroke. Put your head up, and then you get back to stroking. So we're just good strokers. That's all I can say.
Well, there's 2 advantages to that. Is one, right now, you guys get to look at yourself sitting in first place, and yeah, it's partially because you have more games played, but that doesn't matter. You get to see the 1 by your name and then your team name right there. And the second advantage is when you get to the end of the season and all those other teams who are slacking on the scheduling are scrambling to get it in, you guys can like crack your knuckles, kick back, have an adult beverage of your choice, and watch the seeding sort itself out because you're done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could work out. It's neat to see yourself at the top, but what the scheduling worked. That it's not real, but it is cool. You're right, and that's kind of neat. It just really happened to work out, which is always cool when it does, because scheduling's tough, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that. To get 10 people on at one
Sure.
time to play a game, let alone casters and other support folks, that's just a big undertaking.
The
Ouija,
time has
any
come.
any questions here? Well, first of all, before I throw it to Ouija, old buddy Kyle Ferguson actually raiding over. So super big thanks to Kyle and welcome friends. You're tuning in just in time to wrap up our interview with Brickhouse of World Hunger Avoidance Team, and then we're actually going to be throwing you over to a C West matchup on Murda's channel here in a few minutes. But Ouija, any questions for Brickhouse before we wrap it up?
So There is I do have a question. There isn't a right answer. It is yes. Was this something that do you have other things in your back pocket to pull out for the next
We
couple games?
I think I speak for everyone out there, and ladies, you can back me up on this. Women's clothing does not have pockets, and we kind of draft and play with that in mind. We don't have pockets.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what you ban, we're gonna come back in full force. Is that right?
We're gonna play hard. We're gonna play our best. We do practice a lot of things, and that's great. But we're also not afraid to say, look, we've never done this, and we got to do it. But we've done these similar things, and we go through it. So I think it's a little bit of A, a little bit of B. And I mean, I don't have pants on now, but my shorts have pockets. So I mean, I guess it kind of counts.
I like the sound of that. That's awesome.
Any family-friendly shout-outs on your way out the door?
Family friendly. I like how you bring that up there. All right, well, shout out to what? Shout out to Michelin, Vezi, Spohino, Genzors. It's really great playing with all you. So thank you so much. Shout out to you guys for casting. We really appreciate it. It makes it all worth it in the end. It really does. And shout out to Twitch chat. I love you guys. Let's get some copy pasta going. Swim upstream, Saba ping. Me work, me spam. No mods, no ban. Woo!
All right, there's Brickhouse, and we are going to throw you over to the one, the only Murda. He is casting Division C West, Essence Gaming versus Cosmos. Before we go, thank you to Twong and The Wake for the follows, and double high fives to Kyle Ferguson for the raid. Really appreciate it. Ouija, any shout outs on our way out the door?
Biggest shout out to you, Goose. I really appreciate you letting me cast with you, man. I casted a couple seasons ago, and I've always really wanted to get back into it, and this was a real delight. Huge shout outs again to our teams, Phoenix Rising Diamond and World Hunger Avoidance Team. And another big shout out, everybody's getting big shout outs tonight, is the NGS. Thank you very much for holding amateur league tournaments. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be embedded once HEC was dead. So
Well, thanks for being here because I enjoy casting with somebody significantly more than I do flying solo. So happy to have you. And that's going to do it for us. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and enjoy the rest of your NGS evening. Have a good night.
peace out, A-Town. See you in the Nexus.